Keywords in Google Ads can make or break your campaigns, and without selecting the right ones, people are going to be clicking on your actual ads, but they're not going to be doing what you want them to do, which is to buy your product or buy your service. This is something most people experience in Google Ads and really just don't know how to solve this problem. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to pick the good keywords from the bad ones. Now, to introduce myself, my name's Matt. I'm the owner and operator of Tradesman Digital Marketing. We're a full-service Google Ads agency that specializes in service-based businesses, and we build campaigns on a regular basis for our clients, and we put a ton of emphasis on selecting the right keywords, especially for service-based businesses. The reason being is it's harder to tell what is a sale with a service-based business as opposed to e-commerce, which normally a sale is really easy to see, but with service-based businesses, you have leads, you have sales teams, there's a lot of stuff that goes on there. So making sure you can find high buying intent keywords that we're going to be doing in a second is extremely important. Now, what we're going to do is actually get into our Google Ads Key Planner. We're going to come over here to our Google Ads account, and we're going to come over here to Tools and Settings. This is the new screen layout. If you're not familiar with it, I'm going to walk you straight through it. We're going to come over here to Planning, and we're going to click on the Keyword Planner. Next, we're going to have two options: Discover New Keywords and Get Search Volume Forecasts. We're just going to go with Discover New Keywords because this is the place we're going to go and find all of the actual winning keywords that we're going to be using in our campaigns. Now, there are two options we can start with keywords or start with websites. Websites I don't normally use. The reason being is there's a ton of keywords on a website, whether they're relevant to your business or not, I'm not sure, but I've had a lot of experience in the past where they just pull keywords and some are relevant, some aren't. I spend a lot of time just erasing a lot of the keywords and they don't give you good ones, and I just find it a big waste of time for the most part. So I start with keywords. Now, when we're starting with our keywords, we have to know what our actual service is, and normally I recommend the highest profit margins possible and generally the best service you offer. The reason being is you have more leeway, and one example I want to give you is I'd much rather be selling pool installation as opposed to selling chlorine. Google Ads is expensive and I want to get the biggest bang for my buck possible. Chances are I would rather be advertising and getting leads for, pool installation as opposed to chlorine. Whether it's fencing installation or fence repairs, automotive replacement where you're replacing an entire engine as opposed to, doing like an oil job, those are things that you have to consider as the Google Ads manager or the person actually running this account. Whoever you are, generally I recommend going with the bigger, better purchase. It's just a lot easier from the beginning and it gives you kind of a fail-safe, as opposed to if you have to have everything dialed in right at the beginning, it's very difficult to get that campaign up and running without any leeway whatsoever. And generally, once you figure out those services, you can type them in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in pool installation because I love doing pool installation. It's super easy. We'll do vinyl pool installation, and we'll do local pool installation. Next, what we're going to do is change the actual languages if necessary. Google's going to show you exactly how many people speaking that language are actually searching for this. So very relevant. You need to know how much search volume is there. I'm going to get to search volume in a second, but essentially search volume is just the amount of people typing. So we need to know how many people are actually searching and typing this into Google. If there's no one searching, Google Ads isn't going to do us any good. So need to make sure this is accurate. The next thing is the actual location settings here. Please do not forget this. Very, very important. For this one, normally you're going to be targeting the city you work in or the surrounding radius. Very easy to do. You just type in, let's do Hamilton here, Ontario, Canada. And since it's February in Canada right now, we're not going to be targeting Canada because there's going to be not a lot of search volume, but for the sake of example, I'm going to do the United States. For you want to be just doing the city or wherever you want to be advertising and where you want to be getting clients. You don't want to be targeting 5 cities over. You want to be targeting your best area possible. Maybe it's one part of the city where high-end clients are. Maybe it's one part of the city where, people are just really renovating and have the money to pay for whatever service you're offering. Maybe that's what you should be doing, or maybe you should target the entire state. I don't know, everyone's situation is different. But really, you want to be targeting where you want to be advertising. This is going to get all the data, and we need relevant data to actually make good decisions. Once we have all of that set up, what we're going to do is hit Get Results. And then this is going to pop up, and it's going to look very intimidating and very scary, but never fear, it's not that bad. I'm going to walk you through it. First off, I'm going to walk you through essentially the refined keywords. That way we can reduce a whole bunch of this stuff and it doesn't look overly, 1,044 keywords here. It's a lot to get through. So we're going to reduce all of that. We're going to go through our brands and non-brands. If you're doing any sort of service, normally you're not selling brands like Intex or Bestway, stuff like that. Some companies do, some companies don't. Normally we're not worried about that. We're going to be going after after things like pool installation services near me. That's a keyword we want to go after. It shows high buying intent. In-text installation, maybe not. I don't know. So that's what we're going to be doing. With regards to this, other brands, we're going to get rid of that. Fiberglass pool company, we can keep that. If you wanted to bid on your competitors, that's also a potential strategy as well. It's a little bit more complicated, and I'm not going to get to it in this video, but that's something you could also check in when it comes to keywords as well. The different types of swimming pool. So maybe we don't do indoors or heated or hot tubs, or maybe we only do outdoor, right? Swimming pool, in-ground and outdoor. Different types of materials. Maybe we do vinyl and fiberglass. Maybe we don't do concrete. We can get rid of all of those. And this is just essentially reducing all of the keywords. As you can see here, they're going down, and it's going to make our life a lot easier. Now the service section, as you can see, there's 42 different keywords for deck installation and fence installation. Maybe we don't offer that or do that, so we can get rid of them as well. Pool liners, a lot of companies don't want to do pool liners. Above ground, chlorinated spa. I'm not sure if this company that I'm making up in my head is doing this or not. I'm just going to remove it for the sake of example here. But as you can see, now we're already down to 450 keywords, and it's a lot easier to manage. Now that we've gotten through and reduced a whole bunch of keywords, and it's a lot easier to use, I'm going to go through some of these actual things, and I'm going to explain to you what they are. First off, this is the language setting that we just talked about. It just chooses the language that people are actually searching in. The next one is the Google and Google search partners. Essentially, Google has search partner networks that you can appear on, things similar to Google other search engines. That being said, we've seen in the past, they're not as good or reliable as Google. I don't know if Google purposely does that, but we just find that they're not as good high quality leads. Of course, in certain situations, absolutely possible to get great leads out of them, but normally we don't want to be using them right off the bat. Later on, we can test them, see if they work, see if they don't work, and go from there. If you're struggling for search volume, you can absolutely use a search partners network and try and bump up the search volume to get more people searching for what you're offering. Absolutely, that's possible. But right off the bat, I would recommend just going with Google. If it's super low and there's no way to run it, chances are the Google Search Partners Network isn't going to save you. So it's better just go with Google right off the bat. The next thing is the actual time that we're looking at. You can do last 24 months or last 12 months. I like the last 12 months just because it's very relevant. We don't want to be looking at data that came from, 25 years ago when the internet was a completely different place. That's not something we want to be doing. So last 12 months gives us a very good overview of how many people are searching for this, what the cost per click is, the different types of keywords people are searching for. It's an excellent indicator of this stuff is relevant, up to date, and we can actually use this data to make decisions. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through our keywords and the different columns. I'm going to be showing you essentially all of the different things that we're going to be looking at. And honestly, it's not super complicated. We're going to just start off with keywords. As you can see here, these are the keywords that people are searching for essentially. Another thing I want to do right off the bat, increase rows up to 500. That way we can just scroll through here instead of clicking right like 5,000 times. Makes our life a little easier. And these are just keywords people are actually typing in. As you can see, average monthly searches in the United States, anywhere from 10,000 people to 100,000 people are searching for swimming pool contractors near me. That's excellent. We have enough volume. Normally, if you're doing a smaller campaign, I would say anywhere from a few $1,000s a month, even up to $10,000, $15,000 a month. If you have a handful of keywords, anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 searches a month, you should be fine. Once you get into these massive campaigns, then that might not be enough for you, especially depending on your conversion rate as well. That becomes a little more difficult to deal with. But if you have keywords 1 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000, these are good indicators that a lot of people are searching for what you have to offer, and there's going to be enough people actually wanting to click on your ad, so you can actually make sales. Of course, you need to remember if this is 0, for example, this was like 0 to 10, and all the keywords were 0 to 10 or 0, or there's just a line here and it doesn't show anything, chances are there's just not enough people searching for that, and you're not going to have enough people searching for it to actually run a successful campaign. In that case, you might want to consider something else like Facebook ads. Moving forward, we have the 3-month change and the year-over-year change. Essentially, the 3-month change is just, has this gone up in search volume over the past 3 months, or has it gone down, or has it just stayed the same? This has stayed the same. Year over year is the exact same thing, but it's based off last year's statistics. So during the 2020 year, we noticed a massive jump in the actual amount of pool installations. I'm sure you all know why, but yeah, some years it goes up, some years it goes down. Sometimes it's just random because there's, people are using different types of search terms, people's language change. Maybe there's a lot of people moving from one city to another. They're using different types of grammar. I don't know. Things go up and down. It's an auction house. You can't be perfect on this stuff. But it does give you a good idea of services that are kind of going out of date and people are no longer using them. Those are very good indicators that, hey, maybe this is not the way to go. This advertising platform, you might want to change it. The next one is the actual competition. Now, competition we find sometimes is accurate, sometimes it isn't. We don't put a massive factor on this. You can be very successful in a very highly competitive market. A lot of people can just be terrible, but you could also have, very high cost per click in a low competition market. And just because maybe there's not a lot of search volume there, and the couple companies that are in there are doing a great job, and they're, increasing the actual cost per click, and they're just, using a lot of the search impression. That's something that's possible as well. And like I said before, we don't place a ton of value in this, but it's a good idea of what's going on in the market at the moment. Moving forward, we have top of page bid range, low and high range. Essentially, this is what it costs to show at the lower range at the very top of the page, and this is what it costs on the high end to show at the very top of the page. And this is just based off previous data, what's going on in the auction house. Of course, this isn't perfect because it's historical data. That being said, it does give us a pretty good indication of, okay, we're probably going to be somewhere in the middle of $3 and $18, probably $10 to $12 a click. And we're going to be able to get clicks for that. And then if we want at least one lead a day, normally we want 10 clicks. That's going to be, let's say, $10 a click. It's going to be $100 a day to get one lead. Is that something that's viable? If you're installing a $100,000 pool, $100 lead, that's probably viable for you. If you're, doing AC repair and you're only going to make $20 off of it, probably not a good place for you to actually be advertising. And that's one of the things you can determine very quickly with Google Ads. Hey, is this going to be profitable, or hey, is this not going to be profitable? And Google tells you up front, hey, you're going to be paying this. Sometimes it's very, very expensive. Certain HVAC industries, very expensive. Now, once we get through all of that, we can start scrolling through our keywords and selecting which ones are going to be relevant for us. What I recommend right off the bat is find the highest buying intent keywords possible. What does a high buying intent keyword look like, and what is that? It's someone looking to buy your service right now. They're not, looking for questions or information. They want to buy what you have right now. So this could be pool installation installers near me, pool installers near me, local pool companies that do installation, stuff like that, that shows high buying intent. For HVAC, it could be HVAC companies near me that install AC, something that gives you an indication that the person on the other side of the screen is looking to get your service, as opposed to just HVAC, pools, fencing. Fencing can mean a lot of things. Pools can mean a lot of things. It could be pictures of pools. It could be information about pools. It could be different types of pools. It could be pool companies looking to hire. There's a gazillion things. But if someone types in pool installation company near me that installs pools, chances are they're looking for pool installation. That's the point I want to get across here. We want to look for high buying intent keywords. Every industry is going to be different. And of course, some people are going to be searching for other things in certain industries. You have to get accustomed to these industries and figure out what works for you and what keywords work for your business. So first off, pool installation, that's going to be a good one. Vinyl pool installation, local pool installation. We'll do pool companies near me. Companies can be a hit or miss sometimes. Some people are just looking for chlorine. Some people aren't. It's one of those things that's kind of up in the air. Pool builders, that's a good indication. I'm just going to leave companies out here to simplify things. Pool installation near me, excellent. Pool contractors near me, that's a good one. Pool builders, contractors, installers. As you can see, that starts to become a theme of, okay, these people are clearly looking for pool installation, pool construction near me, in-ground pool installation near me, pool and companies near me, pool installation costs. Sometimes this is a great keyword, sometimes this is a bad keyword. The reason being, the people on the other end of the screen are often looking for the cost, quote, how much will it cost to build this? Like, there's a ton of examples that show people are just interested in the actual dollar amount. That being said, sometimes they work great, sometimes they don't. It really depends on the quality of lead coming through. Sometimes they're really cheap and they want the lowest possible cost per pool out there. Sometimes that's just what they're typing in and they just want a pool. So you have to test that out. For now, I'm going to leave that not selected, just again to simplify this. Fiberglass pool, swimming pool contractors, in-ground pool costs, we're going to skip that. Pool contractors, swimming pool construction, cool. Local pool companies, we're going to skip that. In-ground pool installation near me, pool construction companies near me, pool installation companies near me, in-ground pool installation. Pool building companies, excellent. In-ground pool builders, best pool builders, that's good. You can do like amazing pool builders, best pool builders, recommended pool builders near me. All of that sits into a nice themed ad group. In-ground pool contractors near me, again, showing intent to buy. Fiberglass pool companies near me. Yeah, and fiberglass pool companies, you could make the argument that, hey, maybe they're not looking for that specific installation. Maybe they're looking for chlorine. I think it's close enough in this example. Pool installation companies, pool construction costs, independent pool installers. Maybe that's applicable to you, maybe it's not. Actually, you know what? Let's unselect that because maybe we're not independent. Best pool contractors near me, best pool installers near me, excellent. pool plaster companies, swimming pool. Actually, no, that's cost, average pool cost. As you can see, these are a lot of informational stuff. Informational tend to be higher up the sales funnel. They're not as quick to make a decision. They take a longer time. If you want to do some type of email remarketing campaign, those would be the people you want to go after. But in this example, we're just doing sales. We're just trying to get the person in the door to buy our product. That's what we want right now. We're not going after, get a free ebook about how, great concrete pools are, 10 tips, different types of pools and instructional videos, stuff like that. That's not what we're going after here. We're going after the end of sale, or near end of sale, I should say. Pool sales and installation near me, that's good. Pool estimates near me, that's quotes, cost. That could be its own ad group. I'm looking at what else? Fiberglass pool companies. And essentially what we're going to do is go all the way through here and find out all the great keywords for us. For the sake of time, I don't want to bore you all to death. And what we're going to do is come over here to add keywords to create plan. And of course you can do existing campaign or plan. We're just going to do plan because it's going to generate an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet, and we're going to be able to organize them into correct ad groups. This is going to save us and structure our account in a way that we're able to optimize and make a lot more money. It's amazing what just having an organized themed ad group will do compared to just a campaign with a gazillion keywords. None of them are organized. There's no good ads that are actually targeting any of these keywords because you can't, because there's no, actual themed ad groups. This is something that's super important and a lot of people overlook it. So what we're going to do is hit add keywords to create plan here. This is going to add our keywords. And then what we're going to do up here is we're going to come over here to save keywords. I'm going to show you just the forecast here. You could, change your plan around, show essentially what Google thinks is the estimate based off plans. And then what we're going to do is come over here to download plan. What we can do is just download it in the Google Sheets. Make sure to actually do Google Sheets historical metrics, or a lot of the stuff doesn't pop up. This is super, super important. So make sure to hit that. You can also do it in CSV if you prefer that. We're going to hit download, and then this is going to pop up, and then we're going to sign in, and it's going to show it in our actual account in one moment. All right, now that we're actually into the document, what we're going to do is essentially delete all of this. You can leave monthly search volume if you wanted to. It's taken all the actual data from Canada as opposed to the actual American stuff we were doing. So that's why the numbers are a little different. I'm going to delete the average monthly search volume because we know they're all good. And then we're going to organize these into different ad groups. And I'm going to do that and then come back and show you all what I mean by different themed ad groups, so it makes sense. All right, so I went ahead and actually created all of these ad groups and theme them based off intent. And really, Google has shifted away from single keyword ad groups, which were very prevalent back in the early 2010s, but that has essentially died due to dynamic keyword insertion as well as the match types being changed. So essentially you could target exact keywords every single time, and you could have, if this has an S, don't appear for it. Like, it was very, very specific. Nowadays, exact match isn't like that. Exact match means if it has the same intent exactly, then appear for it. So this could be with an S, this could be a completely different word, as long as Google deems it the same intent, which really gets rid of single keyword ad groups. So now we have to build ad groups based off intent, like I've done here. What we're looking at is general pool installation, fiberglass pool installation, in-ground pool installation, vinyl, and then builders overall. And really, I think you could have probably combined the pool installation and pool builders. I think there's a slight difference in intent there. I would, check the actual results, see what's happening, build the actual ad copy for them. I think just general swimming pool installation might be a little different than pool builders, just in the customer and client's eyes. So the actual intent should have its own ad group. Fiberglass pools, clearly different from in-ground pool installation. Someone might be looking for in-ground pool installation, but not vinyl. You see what I'm saying here? The intent is clearly different here, and we have to show for that. That being said, what we're gonna do from here is build out ad copy. I have a completely free video online on how to actually make all the ad copy. You can actually take these ads if you wanted and throw them into your campaign as well. You could just follow one of my search campaign tutorials, and that will allow you to actually build a search campaign from scratch, just using the keywords you found just now. Now, that being said, I have two more things to actually mention. First off is when we are making this actual campaign, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go into our actual campaigns, and I'm going to show you something called different match types. And if you're not familiar with match types, essentially what they do at this point is allow your ad to appear more or less broadly. So you have broad match, phrase match, and exact match. And the difference is broad match is going to appear for just about everything related under the sun for what your keywords are. If you just put pools, you could appear for pools DIY, pool companies looking to hire. There's a gazillion things you can appear for if you leave it in broad match. Phrase match, more restrictive, but still more lenient than exact match. And exact match is the most strict type, only appearing for exact intent matches. Google has an entire thing on this if you want to read it online on how they work. Google doesn't completely share how they work either, so it's kind of not perfect in a scenario, but once we actually make our campaign and you're picking match types, something here is super important. As you can see, match type, phrase match, exact match, and broad match. And like I said, your campaign is using smart bidding, we recommend broad match. Yeah, but if you're in, service-based businesses, then Google doesn't have all the data and you need to use some sort of phrase match normally or exact match. Normally I like to start a campaign off in phrase match just because it gives you enough search volume while not also being too restrictive where you have to keep adding keywords and adding more. It's just a really good balance. Sometimes if you're getting too many search terms coming in, you could always downgrade it to exact match to make it a little bit more restrictive, but phrase match is a very good starting place. Sometimes you need to expand, go to broad match. Sometimes you need to restrict it. Sometimes you can just leave it in phrase match. I recommend starting campaigns in phrase match just because it's a great start for most campaigns. Now, the last thing I did want to talk about in terms of search terms, keywords, and all that great stuff is negative search keywords. So this is going to tell Google what not to target. We don't want to go after these specific keywords. Maybe you have it in phrase match and it's popping up. We have pool installation near us and it's popping up pool installation, companies near us looking to hire. That's not something we want to be going after. So we have to add it to the negative search keyword list to tell Google, hey, do not add this to our actual campaign. That being said, where do we find those? And we find them in Insight and Report under search terms. Search terms are the actual terms people typed in. This campaign is a demo account, so it doesn't have any, but you'll be able to scroll through here and add them as negatives. You can add them to the account or campaign level. I wouldn't recommend adding them to the ad group level just because it's very tedious. That's what I would be doing. Add them on a regular basis. That way you can reduce wasted ad costs and you're not going to be spending money on keywords you don't want to spend money on. Now, you might have just went and set up your own Google Ads campaign using these exact keywords, but one thing you have to do is make sure you are optimizing the campaign. Like I just said, adding negatives is super important, and I've created an entire optimization checklist, and link for it is down below. It's completely free and it walks you through on what to do on a weekly, monthly, and 3-month basis, as you can see here. Also lets you jot your results so you can see you're making progress month over month. Again, completely free, and the link is down below. I really think it's a great thing just to make sure you're doing everything on a regular basis. You're not overdoing it and you're not underdoing it. That way you can see that you're getting results and Google Ads is actually going to be working for you. Now, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about keywords or anything else regarding Google Ads, leave them down in the comment section down below. I will do my best to get back to you. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, and I wish you all well.